Okay, when students are engaged in the learning process, it increases their attention and their focus, and it motivates them to use a higher level critical thinking skills. And your research does say, engaging students will allow them to learn, and it's evident in the classroom when students are engaged. And so as a teacher, we empower the students to take over their learning and to take ownership of that learning and to make that meaningful connection to what they're learning in the classroom.
So making learning meaningful and relevant is what separates engagement from entertainment. So entertainment is centered around fun. And yes, you have your students' attention, but it's very surface, it's very passive, and they don't have to think deeply, they don't have to do much, and there's a very low level of rigor. But when it comes to engagement, you not only have their attention, but you can hold their attention because they're actively involved in the learning, and you're challenging their thinking, and they're absorbed in what they're doing, and so they're the ones asking the questions instead of just answering questions. And so I like to think of it as entertainment. It's all about the creativity of others, but engagement is about the creativity of the learner. And so when you are ready to plan your engaging lesson, you want to begin with the end in mind. And so you want to know your purpose. And so I always think about what I want them to know, and I keep it aligned to the T. And then I think about, well, why do I want them to know that? That's where the relevance comes in. And then how am I going to get them there? And that's where you get the rigor and the engagement. And so once you have that and you have a clear picture of that, you can help your students get a deeper understanding. And to me, I feel like that's the end result of engagement. If students have a deep understanding because they were invested in the learning.
Don't feel intimidated by engagement. It's, there's people that you can reach out to, plan with. As we come back to purposeful planning, you can just add in those engagements, and don't be afraid, to be creative, to let that inner you come out for your students. It's all about those connections we make with our students in their learning process.
So I always like to say, don't let excuses stand in your way. If you feel you maybe don't have someone to partner with or to plan with, well, you can reach out to others at your school, other grade levels, because that's always a great way to plan, is by grade level. Or you could go to other schools or in the community, and there's so many places you can go to partner and find other people who want to help. I know some people here use Google Community, and they talk with other teachers at other schools, and they plan together and come up with ideas together. So I always say there's no excuse to not doing it, because don't have fear, like she said, because fear is nothing. Don't be afraid of failing. And then reach out to other people. Help is everywhere if you look for it. You just have to have that passion to want to do it. And trust me, the difference it will make in your classroom.
And don't be afraid to ask.
Yes,
Don't be afraid to ask
for help.